might be a little bit more pleasing. Thirdly, it keeps with our previously discussed concepts of trying to maximize both green space and the ability to do stormwater treatment there, and conforms with, it kind of balances out with where the trail entrances are from a parking perspective, and where the higher ridership is from a bus pull-out perspective. So that was the recommendation of the committee to move forward. Thirdly, I combined items 2 and 3 in that memo there. Thirdly,
the removal is at Marlboro, just if you need to know.
Marlboro, the pull-out that was
is
previously
coming out.
indicated will not be a pull-out. Very low ridership there. Thirdly, the regenerative stormwater conveyance, although from my own personal perspective, I thought that was really cool from an environmental standpoint, from a look at what we're doing from a demonstration standpoint. It just, it is fraught with, I shouldn't say fraught, it has technical engineering challenges that result in costs that the committee thought just doesn't make sense to proceed with showing. If at some point in the future we figure out a better way either to get water to flow uphill without expensive pipes and pumps, or some other location that makes sense, that might be contemplated at some point. But for now, that concept of the regenerative stormwater conveyance, you might recall that was where there was a sort of meandering riverlet with stones and various levels that would at some point be dry, at some point be flowing, at some point hold water. But one of the things that Grave had done was looked at not only that original place up on the north end, but 2 other spots that conceivably might make sense to do. But as we saw some cost estimates, some conceptual cost estimates, the committee felt that and we agreed with our consultant that was cost prohibitive, and recommends pulling that out at this point from a presentation standpoint. The other thing the committee directed staff at this point to communicate with the Fund for Lake Michigan folks before the September 30 pre-proposal deadline, to indicate that the Village of Shorewood is interested and will be pursuing the next granting with the next cycle for the stormwater treatment, which would be bioswales and treatment on the west side and in the median as appropriate. The last thing the committee did, and it's somewhat related to, kind of overlap with the funding, the parking, certainly the presentation materials, is all the previous figures that we saw showed parking on the south side being paved with permeable pavers, pavers that would allow water that flows from the sky, or that flows over, that falls from the sky or flows over them to percolate through the pavers into the subsurface for storage, treatment, pollutant attenuation. The committee recommended taking that out, but instead focusing more effort and design on biotreatment on the west side. There are those, particularly staff people, that are not in favor of pavers in streets. There's a cost issue. Certainly some, how much cost might get offset one way or another, but pounds per dollar we're better served at this point investing in biotreatment on the west side, and that biotreatment contemplates those expanded bus pullouts and parking lanes, or parking areas, I should say. It contemplates, at least for the near term, the need, until we have a final solution, the need to conduct snow storage on the north end. And so those are the changes to the materials, those are the changes to the concept. Grafe is now prepared, I think, to do some further refinement of costs. One of the other things that the committee discussed was concrete versus asphalt. It's currently a concrete road. It was discussed, it's been presented as an asphalt road because that's how we've been paving. We want to get more information from a cost standpoint. What is that increment for concrete? And then from an engineering perspective, what is the opinion of concrete versus asphalt? And from a staff opinion. So we have operational concerns, we have design data, and we have cost data from which we could make a decision on asphalt versus concrete. From an aesthetic standpoint, we see Maryland in the city of Milwaukee, they've gone to asphalt parking with concrete bus pads. I think that's commonly done in areas, at least recent. I think there's an aesthetic question there, but regardless, that isn't a decision we're making tonight. That isn't a decision that needs to be made in the real near term, but we'll get that engineering information, that staff operational issue and cost issue at some point in the future, and we can make that decision. And Grafe will let us know when is it that we need to make that, so we're not letting against time, so we have ample time to contemplate and discuss. We did see finally getting to getting to the public information. We see in our packet there was the drafts of the materials that will be on display at the public information meeting, including kind of the floor plan. Because at this point, the meeting is designed as more kind of a traditional public information meeting to say, here, this is what we've done, here's where we are. We've made some decisions, and it's a more open concept. Mary Beth, tell me, does the material that we have show the idea of the
Have you reviewed the handout? Yeah,
That's
the
what
floor plan's on the
that's
bottom of the handout.
You want to come on up and you can
Sure.
say something so I can check.
So our general concept was that we know that people are going to want to maybe provide some ideas on green infrastructure, landscape, those types of things. We want to allow optimum interaction between the attendees and the staff that will be there. And we want it to be more of an experience than a public meeting where we're Q&A-ing all the time. So we set it up as kind of, you come in the door, you'll sign in, and then you'll have the roadway design experience first, where we will have the roadway design boards that will have the final alternative. And then we're also going to tape out on the floor the pedestrian median so that people can truly get a sense of how wide it is, will it fit a person with a stroller, a bike, those types of things. And then in the corner where the green infrastructure and landscaping is, we were going to bring some permeable paver examples. I think we won't bring those now, which is completely fine. So I'm hoping to have something like a bio retention. We're not having a lot of luck putting our hands on an actual model that people can look at, but there'll be information for boards primarily there. And then the future opportunities, we talk about the potential for the pilot site for the Global Water Council. As we dug into that a little bit as well, it's really hard to predict what technologies are going to be available. We want this to be a rotating site, so we don't know whether the site should be somewhere in the pavement or whether it should be somewhere in the green gardens area. So we want to leave that up in the air for now because you're going to want to match the site to the technologies that become available. So that's kind of described in this future opportunities area. And then also further enhancement of the woodbine area will be displayed there. And then lastly, we're building a model right now of the corridors, so people can really see what it's gonna look like. And we don't have that done yet, but I will be able to get you guys to see it before the meeting. We have to go take a bunch of bus pullouts now and change some stuff in it. My guy's on vacation, but I will send it out to you before the meeting. So that'll be running on a loop, as well as we're going to bring our virtual goggles so people can, put them on and experience the corridor firsthand. I did learn that you can't just walk wherever you want, which I was kind of bummed about. I thought that's what we were going to be able to do, but you will be able to at least go down the corridor and look around. So that's kind of the concept we're going with. We're not intending to set up chairs. We really want people flowing through and talking to all the engineers. So, and the invite, I think, I don't know if it's gone out yet.
I got one.
You got one? Okay, so it didn't say, like, there's no formal presentation, we're just gonna be an open house and handle people as they come. So if anybody has any other ideas that we should throw in there to make it more interactive, we're all open ears. Okay. Good.
Thank you so much.
Yes.
I just want to say that I want to thank Committee Chair Trustee Zovic for allowing the discussion on all the alternatives. I think we came to a good spot as a unanimous recommendation to the board. We were able to get some additional, or save some additional spaces for about 45 spaces, parking spaces on the west side, parking for ADA parking as well, so people can park that are handicapped and enter the trails. We were able to design bus pullouts in the parking areas so as to not have to utilize more space in the greenway than needed. It actually helped reduce any additional space there by doing it in a parking lane rather than a formal bus pullout. It just saves some space. It also did not interfere with the benefits of the greenway that came from the hybrid model that we adopted. It saved the area. We concentrated most of the stormwater management for phase one within the area that isn't going to have parking and doesn't have these extra amenities. So I think it was a great compromise. And just one thing on the Permian pavers, we all have heartburn over this because everyone thinks they're fabulous, including all three of us on the committee. We looked at, I just want to give one number, we did look at cost per pound of reduction in pollutants in the pollutant load. The west side bioretention costs $427 per pound, and the Premier pavers cost $6,875 to achieve the same reduction in that 1 pound. So we really did do our homework, and we felt that the money, and our consultant also agreed that the money would be better spent with more additional bioswales in the future. So that was the intent of that. And so I wanted to make that clear that we all support Premier pavers. It was just where we get the biggest bang for our buck.
Two things. I appreciate those comments. Thank you. I just want to be clear that I think we need to be a little bit cautious about price per pound comparisons. It certainly is much more cost effective with the option that we've gone to do bio. I don't know that any of us, and sitting here as an engineer, I certainly am not trusting my own sort of math and what's included and what's included. But from my perspective, I think it's clear that there is a big delta, regardless of what those numbers really might be. Secondly, perhaps it would be valuable in some way at the public information meeting to indicate what items are sort of phase 2 items.
Yeah, so there is so future opportunities is really kind of the phase 2 area. So there's the phase 2 boards will all be in the future opportunities area. Probably the one question I have is there any way we want to show, so we have the green infrastructure board that has the permeable pavers on there. And so then the answer is just that we considered them and found the bios to be more cost effective for the solution.
Yeah.
That's the answer. Okay. Yeah, so we're definitely distinguishing between phase 2.
The other future opportunities are regarding trails. And,
Yep, those are all the phase 2 boards are listed in that,
okay.
The front of the memo.
Okay.
Says the Water Council pilot program, the RSC, which we're gonna take out, the trail connections and amenities, and the woodland edge enhancement. Those are all the phase 2 words.
Okay, thank you. Trustee Lemon.
Could you go over for me just down the corridor, what's the pull-out, what's the parking, what's the, I didn't get that from your. Glendale is what?
Glendale will be a pullout.
Kensington,
Will be the start of the west side parking, so it will look like a start, like a pullout to the bus, but then it will continue with parking to Congress
okay,
until the Congress bus stop, and
okay,
then it will cut in.
right,
And then Marlboro is going to just be a stop in the lane, so that will be the only one that will remain theoretically not in a parking lane.
Uh-huh.
Okay. And then, I don't want to miss one.
so like Wildwood, Alpine,
Wait,
Let me pull it up on my screen.